Hello viewers, my name is Mr. Adebanjo. I want to welcome you to this video on waec 2022 further mathematics objective questions. In this video, we are going to be solving waec 2022 further mathematics objective question. And before we get it started, I want you to note that if you have not subscribed to this channel, you are not helping us to improve this channel. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button right now on this channel, and you can also click the notification button, that bell, click on it, so that you will be notified whenever we post information on this video or we post any video on this platform. So as like I said earlier, we are going to be solving waec 2022 further mathematics objective questions. So this as a result of a student who requested for this video in order to guide the students in preparing for waec 2023 for the mathematics question. So we have not laid our hand on the theory part of this last year question. If you are able to get it, we are going to upload it on the platform as well. So this is what we have right now to work with. So, and I believe you are going to understand how we are going to solve it step by step. So what are we expecting in this video? We are going to be telling you the topic where each of the questions are, where they were picked, and also we are going to be solving each question systematically step by step, and we pick the correct answer out of the option provided. So we have 40 questions to deal with, to solve together in this video. So without wasting much of our time, let's jump to the first question. Question number 1 is on binary operation. Binary operation in the mathematics, for the mathematics rather, is one of the topic in SS1. And the question says that the binary operation asterisk and the triangle are defined on the set of real number R by m asterisk n equals to m square plus n square, and p triangle q equals to p over q, where m and n, p, q belongs to R, which is set of real numbers. We have to evaluate 6 asterisk 7 triangle 10 triangle 2. When we talk about binary operation, we are talking about the rule of combination of two elements of a particular set to get another element in that set. In this case, we are having real number as the set. So we are giving two rules now. One belongs to asterisk and another one for triangle. For asterisk, we have anytime we have m asterisk n, it's same thing as m square plus n square. When we have a triangle, when we have p triangle q, it means we have p over q. So with that, we can simplify or evaluate this expression given to us here. So m asterisk n means m square plus n square. P inverted triangle q means p over q. Now we have to evaluate 6 asterisk q. So 6 asterisk 7 rather. So that means m here will be 6 and our n here will be what? 7. So that means that gives us 6 square plus 7 square. That gives us 36 plus 49. And 36 plus 49 will give us 85. Also, if you simplify 10 in triangle 2, that 10 p triangle q give us p over q. So that means 10 in triangle 2 will give us 10 over 2, and 10 over 2 is 5. That means for this one we are left with the answer is 85. For this one the answer is 2. So that means we are left with 85 triangle 5. So don't forget the answer for this 6 asterisk 7 is 85, which is what for this one. Then the answer for 10 asterisk 2 is 5. And now we now simplify 85 triangle 5 now. And anytime we are using triangle, that will give us this over this. So that means 85 triangle 5 will give us 85 over 5, and that will give us 17. So for this question number 1, question number 1, A is the correct option. Question number 2 is on sod. Question number 2 is on sod. And we have to express sine. Sorry, pardon me. So number 2 is on trigonometric ratio. It's on trigonometric ratio rather. You have to express sine 105 degrees in surd form. Sine 105 degrees in surd form. Since you have to leave our answer in surd form, that means the angle for this trigonometric ratio should be a special angle. If I should remind you of special angle in trigonometric ratio, you have 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. So we have to express this angle 105 degrees to give us 2 or more special angles. So that should give us a 60 plus 45. So 105 degrees should give us 60 plus 45. Now you're having sine 60 plus 45. Now this one has become a trigonometric ratio of compound angle. Before it was single angle, now it's now a compound angle now, 60 plus 45. Then if you remember vividly the trigonometric ratio of compound angle, that is sine 60 plus 45 will give us sine 60 cos 45 plus cos 60 plus sine 45. I come again, sine 60 plus 45 will give us sine 60 cos 45 plus cos 60 sine 45. So sine 60 is a sod 3 over 2 because we have trigonometric ratio of special angle. Sine 60 is sod 3 over 2, cos 45 1 over sod 2, plus cos 60 also is 1 over 2, then sine 45 is 1 over sod 2. Then from there now we can, if you are familiar with sod, you can see that we will do something to this 1 over sod 2. That means we will rationalize it. So if you rationalize it, that means sod 2 will multiply up and down. That means you have sod 3 over 2 times 1 over sod 2. Then we rationalize this one, that will be multiplied by sod 2 over sod 2 plus 1 over sod 2 times, also this one we rationalize this one as well. That will be 1 over sod 2 times sod 2 over sod 2. And we know that here sod 2 times 1 will give us sod 2. Then sod 2 times sod 2 here will give us 2. If you are very familiar with sod, then that means you are left with sod 3 over 2 times sod 2 over 2 plus 1 over 2 times also 1 times sod 2 here will give us sod 2. Sod 2 times sod 2 under will give us 2. So also if you simplify that further, sod 3 times sod 2 will give us sod 6. 2 times 2 will give us 4. Plus 1 times sod 2 will give us sod 2. Then 2 times 2 will give us 4. Then here we can find the LCM, which will give us sod 6 plus sod 2 over 4. But if you look at the option provided here, where we can factorize this 1 over 4 out, then that will give us 1 over 4. Then you can rearrange this sod as well. That will give us sod 2 plus sod 6. So we can say that option B is the correct option for question number 2 as well. Question number 3 now is also on sod. It's also on sod. You have to simplify this sod. 1 plus 2 sod 3 all square minus 1 minus 2 sod 3 all squared. If you are very used to solving quadratic expression or equation, you discover that what you have here look like a difference of 2 square. And that's why we have a record that a square minus b square will give us a plus b into a minus b. This is a difference of 2 square. Look at this and look at the question given to us. You can see that they are alike. Forget what you have inside the bracket. This is having square minus this also having square. So this is a difference of 2 square. And that means it will give us this plus whatever you have inside the bracket. Open another bracket. This minus whatever you have inside the bracket again. So, and that's what you're having here, that this one will give us 1 plus 2 sod 3 plus 1 minus 2 sod 3. Open another bracket. This one will give us 1 plus 2 sod 3 minus, I open another bracket inside so that everything here will be inside the bracket. Because if you don't put it inside the bracket, that will be wrong as well. Because your minus will only affect this one if you don't put it in bracket, and it will affect this one. So you need to put everything in bracket so that this minus can affect everything there. Then if that is taken care of, 1 plus 1 will give us 2. Then 2 sod 3 minus 2 sod 3 will give us 0. So that means you are left with 2 here. If you simplify this one further, then you can open this bracket with this minus. Minus times 1 will give us minus 1. Then minus times 1 will give us plus 2 sod 3. Then 1 minus 1 will give us 0. Then you are left with 2 sod 3 plus 2 sod 3. And that will give us 4 sod 3. Then these two will multiply this, that give us 8 so 3. Then option D is the correct option for this question number 3 as well. Question number 4 now is from polynomial. Polynomial is question number 4, and we are given that we have to find the remainder when f of x is equal to s cubed minus 4s squared minus 7s plus 10 is divided by s plus 3. So this is from the remainders theorem. Pardon me. This is for remainders theorem in a polynomial. So we have to find the remainder of this function when you divide it by s plus 3. We can do this in two ways. Whether you can use the long division method, you use the divisor to divide this dividend, then you get a remainder. If this one is not a factor of this, but that's a long method. There's another short method we can use, and that's what we use to solve this question. The remainder of this f of x is x is equal to minus 3. The remainder of this function is f of minus 3. That is, whatever, if I substitute f of minus 3, how did you guys get f of minus 3? How did I get f of minus 3 rather? If I make this one an equation, that means we have s equals to 3, s plus 3 equals to 0, that means s will be equal to minus 3. Then if I substitute f of minus 3 into this f of x, then whatever I get as an answer, that will be the remainder of this function when we divide it by this one. So that's what I'm saying here. F of x is equal to this. The remainder of f of x is f of minus 3. How do we get minus 3 here? This from this here. So if I substitute f of minus 3 into this function, whatever I get is the remainder. So f of minus 3 into this, we have a minus 3 cubed minus 4 into minus 3 raised to the power 2 minus 7 into minus 3 plus 10. Minus 3 cubed is minus 27. Then minus 3 squared is 9. Then minus 7 times minus 3 gives us 20, plus 21 plus 10. This will give us minus 27. Minus 4 times 9 will give us minus 36 plus 31. And if you simplify this further, that will give us a minus 32. So option A is the correct option for question number 4. Question number 5 now is on linear transformation, and that's for SS3 topic. Where we have enlargement, where we have a rotation, where we have reflection, and so on. Now we have to find the image of this object under the transformation P, where P is a coordinate s comma y, and there is also in this format s plus 2y comma minus 2s minus 4y. So we have to find the image of this object using this transformation matrix, this transformation. So like I said here, this object 3 comma minus 5 is a coordinate. It's telling us the where the object is located on the Cartesian graph, and this we can change to a column matrix. Yes, in coordinate can change to column matrix, and that will give us this O, where I said it's 3, then comma this 3, then minus 5, which is now a column matrix. Then this transformation, this transformation also this is a coordinate, also we can change to a matrix. So, and what do? You write the coefficient of x here, which is 1, coefficient of what? Y here is 2, then this one come under coefficient of x here is minus 2, coefficient of minus 4, y here is minus 4, which will now give us a 2 by 2 matrix, which is a P. Then this object, the location of this object, if I multiply with this this transformation matrix, if I multiply by this, then it will give us the location of the image on the Cartesian graph. So that's why we have O multiplied by P, that will give us OP, which is talking about the location of the image. So O is this, then P is this. So that means you are multiplying this by this now. Then it should be PO, not OP, because P comes before O. So it should be PO, not OP. That means this matrix is multiplying this matrix. And if you are used to multiplication of matrix very well, can this 2 by 2 matrix multiply this column matrix? Yes, because number of elements in the row is equal to number of elements in the column of the second matrix. So we multiply this element here will multiply 3, and 2 will multiply minus 5. So we have 1 times 3 will give us 3, then 2 times minus 5 will give us minus 10. Then you simplify that. Also minus 2 will multiply 3, that give us minus 6. Then minus 4 will multiply minus 5, that give us plus 20. And you simplify that also. Then this will also give us a column matrix. So 3 minus 10 will give us minus 7. Then minus 6 plus 20 will give us 14, which is also a column matrix. Then this is the location of this image, but it's still in column matrix. So also we need to change it back to coordinates, and that will give us minus 7, 14. So that's the location of this image on the Cartesian graph. Then the option C is the correct option for question number 5. Question number 6 is on quadratic equation, roots of quadratic equation. We are told that if ks squared minus 12x plus k is equal to 0 has equal roots, find the value of k. When do we have the root of a quadratic equation to be equal? That is when the discriminant is equal to 0. That's the condition for equal roots of the quadratic equation. If you are used to nature of roots of quadratic equation, we know that we have equal roots, we have imaginary roots, we have a distinct and real roots. So then when do we have the root to be equal root? That is when the discriminant is equal to 0. And what is discriminant? That is b squared minus 4ac. And that's the discriminant equals to 0. In this case, in this equation, we can get our a, we can get our b, we can get our c. Our a is quotient of s squared, which is k. Our b is quotient of x, which is minus 12, and our c is k. So if you substitute that into this discriminant, we have minus 12 squared minus 4 into k, which is a, multiplied by c, which is also k. We simplify that further. Minus 12 squared will give us 144. Then k times k will give us k squared equals to 0. You can collect like times. 144 will go to this side, become minus 144. Then minus will take care of minus. You can divide both sides by 4. K squared equals to 36. Then you can now find the square root of k. Then that will give a plus or minus square root of 36. And k will be square root of plus or minus square root 6. So, and option C is the correct option for question number 6 as well. Question number 7 is on inequalities. We have to find the range of values of x for which minus x plus 2 greater than 0 or and minus 2x minus 5 less than 3. So we have to find the range of these inequalities. How do we do that? You can solve these inequalities separately, solve this also separately, then combine your answers to give us the range. And that's what we do here. Minus x plus 2 greater than 0, can collect like times minus x greater than 0 greater than minus 2. That is 2 come to this side, it become minus. And because the quotient of x here is minus, that means we divide both sides by minus 1, and that means this inequality will change. So s is less than 2. If you solve the other inequality, you have minus 2x minus 5 less than 3. Collect like times, you have minus 2x less than 3. Then this one become plus here. 3 plus 5, that gives us 8. Also, we divide both sides by minus 2 here. And also, you know that this inequality also will change to greater than. You'll be having minus 8 divided by 2. S is greater than minus 4. Then to combine these two inequalities, that means minus 4 is less than x, because s is greater than minus 4. That means minus 4 is less than x. So minus 4 is less than x. Then you now have s is less than 2. S is less than 2. So that will give us option C to be the correct option for this question number 7. Question number 8 is on matrix. And here we are told if the determinant of x minus 2, 3, 4, 5 is equal to 8, find the value of x. By now, if you understand the matrix, you know that this 2 line means determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix. So then how do we find the determinant of a matrix, of 2 by 2 matrix? We know that this element in the first row, first column, has a positional sign of plus. This one has positional sign of what? Minus. Plus, minus, minus, plus. So to find the determinant, we use this positional sign of the first row. Then we cross multiply with the positional sign of the first row. So this one is positive. That means you have this times this. 5 into s minus 2. Then the positional sign of this one is minus. That means this one become minus 3 times 4. That gives us minus 12. Then equals to 8. You can open the bracket. 5x. Then that gives us minus 10. If 5 multiply minus 2. Minus 12 equals to 8. Collect like times 5x is minus 10 minus 2 is minus 10 minus 12 is minus 22 equals to 8. Collect like time as well. That will 5x equals to 8 plus 22. That gives us 30. We can divide both sides by 5. That will give us s to be 6. So option D is the correct option for question number 8. Question number 9 is on mapping and function. That's SS1 topic as well. Mapping and function. Given that f of x is s plus p over s minus 3 when x is not equals to 3, because if s is equal to 3, that means this fraction will become undefined, where p is a constant and f of 5 is equal to 3 over 2. We have to find the value of p. You have been given f of x equals to s plus p over s minus 3. So if you know f of s, and we are given the value of f of 5 to be 3 over 2, so that means s here we can replace as 5. So whenever we see s here, we put 5 here, and that's talking about f of 5, and that will be equal to 3 over 2. So f of 5 is, that means s is here, we put 5 plus p. X is here, we put 5 minus 3 equals to 3 over 2 as f of 5. So that means you have 5 plus p over 5 minus 3 is 2 equals to 3 over 2. From there you can cross multiply. When cross multiply, 2 multiply everything here, then 2 multiply 3 here. But instead of that, if you cross multiply, 2 can cancel 2 at both sides, which simply means that these 2 can take care of these 2 here. That means you have 5 plus p equals to 3. Then p will be 3 minus 5. That gives us minus 2. So option C is the correct option for question number 9. Question number 10 is on coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry. And that's also SS1 topic. The midpoint of the line joining point P and point Q, given the coordinate of P and Q, is M, and given the coordinate of M to be 2, 3x. Find the value of x. If you understand coordinate geometry very well, you know that we have a lot of subtopic under coordinate geometry, and one of them is midpoint theorem. So midpoint, you are given the midpoint of P and Q to be this. So from there you have to find this x. And what is midpoint? Midpoint is midpoint of 2 points will give us another coordinate. And how do we get that coordinate? That would be s2 plus x1 over 2, comma y2 plus y1 over 2. Where we can get s2 and s1 from this point P, and can get y2 and y1. Sorry, we can get s2 and s1 from these two coordinates P and Q, and we can also get y2 and y1 from this coordinate P and Q, because M is the midpoint. So, and we also be given the coordinate of the midpoint M. So midpoint is this 2, 3x equals to, what's our s2 from P and Q? S2 is 11, and our s1 is what? Minus 7. So we have 11 plus open bracket minus 7 over 2, comma, what's our y2? Y2 is 15, and y1 is 3. 15 plus 3 over 2. Simplify this further. That means you have 11 minus 7 over 2. Then you have 18 over 2. 11 minus 7 is 4 over 2. Then 18 divided by 2 is 9. 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. So that means you have 2, 3s equals to 2, 9. So this means that these coordinates are equal. And it implies that 2 is equal to 2 and 3a is equal to 9. So 3a is equal to 9. Then s is equal to 9 over 3. That gives us 3. So option A is the correct option. Now we are in question number 10 right now. And don't forget we are solving WAEC 2022 further mathematics objective question. So we are in question number 10 right now. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button on the channel right now, so that you will be informed or notified whenever we post video on these channels. Question number 11 now is on differentiation. Differential calculus, that is SS3. Given that y squared equals to s squared minus 3s plus 9, find the value of the y dx at 0, minus 3. This function is an implicit function. We have to differentiate this and find the value of the dy dx at this point. So if you differentiate this implicit function, that means you have if you differentiate y squared, you have 2y dy dx. Why are we adding the y dx? Because this y is a dependent variable. So we have 2y dy dx equals to, if you differentiate x squared, we have 2x. And if you differentiate minus 3x, that gives us minus 3. If you differentiate 9, you have 0 because 9 is a constant. Then we can make the y dx formula by dividing both sides by 2y. So we have dy dx equals to 2x minus 3 over 2y. Then at this is the gradient now. This is the different the gradient of this function. Then at this point, s is 0, y is minus 3. Then if you put that here, you have the y dx equals to 2 into 0 minus 3 over 2 times minus 3. So that will give us 2 times 0 is 0. We have left with minus 3. Then under we have minus 6. Minus we take care of minus 3 can go in C, that 1 over 2. So option D is the correct option for question number 11. Question number 12 is also from the coordinate geometry, and that is question of straight line. We have to find intersection in the intercept of the two straight line. Given that line 3x minus 2y minus 9 is equal to 0 and 5x plus 2y plus 20 equal to 0, we have to intercept the intercept at point P. We have to find the coordinate of P. Like I said, we are looking for the coordinate of the intercept of these two lines. Now, this can be done in many ways. We can solve these two linear equations simultaneously. Then whatever we get as the value of our x and y can be put in the coordinate form, and that will be the intercept. And this can also be done graphically. But if you do this graphically, that will take our time. So we can use any of the method of solving simultaneous equation to solve this, and we'll get a value of our x and y, which you can now put in coordinate form. So that's what we did here. The first equation we simplify, we arrange it, and that gives us 3x minus 2y equals to 19, equation 1. We also arrange equation 2 as well, that will give us 5x plus 7y equals to minus 20. Then you can solve these two equations simultaneously, and I use elimination here. We eliminate y for the two equation, and by making the coefficient of y equal. And how do we do that? We multiply equation 1 by 7, and we multiply equation 2 by what? 2. And that will give us 21s minus 14y equals to 133. Then 10s plus 14y equals to minus 40. Multiply this one by 7, that gives us this. Multiply this one by 2, that gives us this as well. So then you can now add these two equations. When you add it, you have 21x plus 10x, that gives us 31x. This plus d will give us 0. Then we have 133 plus minus 40. Plus and minus will give us minus. That gives us 133 minus 40, that gives us 93. Then you can divide both sides by 31, that gives us s to be 3. Then substitute for x in any of these two equations, whether 1 or 2. But I put it in equation 1. And that gives us 3 into 3 minus 2 into minus 2y equals to 19. 3 times 3 is 9. Then minus 2y equals to 19. Collect like time, you have minus 2y equals to 19 minus 9, that gives us 10. Divide both sides by minus 2, that gives us y to be minus 5. If you put this in coordinate form, your s is 3, y is minus 5. So that gives us 3, minus 5. And if you look at the option given to us, option B is the correct option in question number 12. Question number 13 is on logarithm, and it's also related to indices. Given that 16 raised to power log x base 2 divided by 4 raised to power log y base 2 equals to 1. Express y in terms of x. That means you have to make y subject of the formula in terms of x. How do we do that? We can make this, you can find the index of 16. That will be 4 raised to power 2. Then we have log x base 2 divided by 4 log y base 2 equals to 1. Then according to the law of, you can apply law of indices here, because we have they have the same base, 4 and 4, and here you're having division. So you can apply the law of indices that say that you can pick one of the base and do something to the power. What do you do to the power? You subtract the power. So you pick 4, then that will be raised to power 2 log x base 2 minus log y base 2 equals to 1. So we can also change this one to 4 raised to power 0. Why? So that this base can take care of the base here. So basic cancel base, we are left with 2 log x base 2 minus log y base 2 equal to 0. And here also at the left hand side, you can apply law of logarithm, and say that these two can go to the power of x here, and then you have log x squared base 2 minus log y base 2 equals 0. You can also apply law of logarithm here also, and this one will change to division. So pick one of the log, then you divide the numbers. X squared over y equals 0. Then according to the definition of logarithm, this one says that how many times can we raise 2 with 0 to get x squared over y? That's the meaning of this statement here. Log x squared over y base 2 is equal to 0 means how many times can I raise 2 with 0? 2 raised to the power 0 will give us x squared over y. So that means x 2 raised to the power 0 is what? 1. And if you cross multiply, you have x squared to be equals to y. So that means our y is equal to x squared. And if you look at the option, option B is the correct option. Question number 14 is on collision and momentum. A sphere of mass 10 kg moving with velocity 6.4 meters per second collides with another sphere of mass 6 kg moving in the same direction with a velocity of u meter per second. After collision, both spheres moves with velocity of 7 meter per second. Find the value of u. So this is the momentum after collision equals to the momentum after collision. This is the mass of the first object multiplied by the initial velocity plus mass of the second object multiplied by the initial velocity equals to mass of the first object multiplied by the velocity after collision plus mass of the second object multiplied by velocity after collision. But we are told that they both move in the same direction. So that means after collision, they have the same velocity. So m1 is 10 multiplied by initial velocity 6.4 plus m2 is m2 mass of the second sphere is 6, and we don't know its velocity, and equals to, since they have the same velocity after collision, v, if factorize it out, then you have m1 plus m2 inside. Final velocity is 7 into 10 plus 6, which are the two masses. Then if you simplify that further, 10 times 6.4 give us 64. 6 times u give us 6u equals to, simplify this, it give us 112. Then you can correlate like time from there. That will give us 6u equals to 112 minus 64. 6u equal to 48. Divide both sides by 6. So u will be 8 meter per second. So the initial velocity of the second mass before collision is 8 meter per second. So option C is the correct option for question number 14. Question number 15 is on force on inclined plane. Force on inclined plane. A body whose weight is 100 Newton is placed on a smooth plane inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal. Calculate the acceleration of the body along the plane. Take acceleration due to gravity to be 10 meters per second square. Like they said, there's a weight, there's an object or a body, and the weight of the object is 100 Newton, and is placed on an inclined plane, which means that, and you are told that that plane is smooth, so that means it's going to slip down. Sorry, it's going to slip down. So, and that what you want us to get the acceleration at along the plane. Then the angle of inclination is 60 degrees. So the force on this body is of two types. It's of two components. There's horizontal component, there is a vertical component. So because this object is moving down, that means this force is going to be along the horizontal component, and that will give you, and we know that force is mass times acceleration. So since the force is along the horizontal component, that means the force is going to result to mg sine theta equals to this ma. M can take care of m here. We have a to be equal to g sine theta. Our g is 10, then sine angle is what, 60. So that we have 10 sine 60, and sine 60 is 3 over 2, because this is a special angle, trigonometric ratio of special angle. Sine 60 is 3 over 2, so 2 can take care of 10 here. That means our a will be 5 meter per second squared. So option B is the correct option for question number 15. Question number 16 is on also on force. and the force is related to vector. So we have to look for the direction, which is talking about the angle of the force in related to the vector. So what do we do? We know that this is a vector, and the vector is also in a coordinate form. So this minus so 2i represent x, comma minus 2j represent y. Then if you want to find the angle of this vector of this force, rather that will be tan theta equals to y over x, where our y is minus 2 and our s is minus 12. Then if you simplify that further, that will give us 0.5774. Then you are looking for theta, which is the angle. Then we find tan inverse, which is tan inverse of 0.5774. That will give us 30 degrees. But we need to look for the location of this force on the graph. This force is going to be on in the third quadrant. Why? X is the negative side, which is this side, and the y is also a negative side, which is going to be this side of the graph. So that means the object, the force is going to be around here, and that means it's going to be in third quadrant. And the angle the angle in third quadrant, all silver t. So t is positive, tan is positive in this quadrant. So that means to get the angle in third quadrant, that would be 180 plus the angle, and that will be 180 plus this angle 30, and that will give us 210. And the direction of this force is 210, which is option B. Question number 17 is also on differentiation. We have to differentiate s squared over 2s plus 1 with respect to x, and this means we are having a function dividing another function. And when we have a function dividing another function in differentiation, that means we differentiate it by quotient rule. And what is quotient rule? That dy dx equals to v du dx minus u dv dx over v squared, where our numerator here is the u and our denominator is the is v. So if our u is s squared, you can find the u ds. You can differentiate u with respect to x. That will give us the u ds equals to 2x. And if our v is 2s plus 1, we can differentiate v with respect to x as well. That will give us the v dx. So the v dx is 2. Then that means if you can substitute everything we have got into this rule, that means we add the rdx equals to v is 2s plus 1 multiplied by the uds is 2x minus u is s squared, and our dv ds is 2 over v is 2s plus 1 all squared. If you simplify the numerator, 2s multiply the bracket, that we have 4s squared plus 2s minus 2 multiply s squared, that will give us minus 2s squared over 2s plus 1 all squared. You can simplify this further as well. 4s squared minus 2s squared will give us 2s squared plus 2x over 2s plus 1 all squared. You can factorize the numerator because of the answer given to us here. If you leave it like this, you are done. But there's no option that's related to this question here. So to this result rather. But if you factorize the numerator, we have 2s into s plus 1 over 2s plus 1 squared. So that shows that option A is the correct option in what is given to us. Question number 18 is on a propositional logic, either SS2 or SS1. Propositional logic. We have to consider the statement: proposition P, Charles is brilliant, and proposition Q, Charles is regular in class. Which of the following represents if negation of P, then negation of if negation of Q, then negation of P? So that means we need to negate Q and also negate P rather. And if you negate Q, you can say that if it is false that Charles is regular in class, and if you negate P, you can say that it is false that Charles is brilliant. So that means I can say that if you look at the option given to us here, Charles is regular in class and dull. That is wrong. It's not related to what is given to us. Charles is not brilliant, which is talking about negation of P, and regular in class, which is talking about Q, which is not related to what you're having here. Let's look at C. Charles is not regular in class, which is talking about negation of Q. Implied he is not brilliant, which is talking about negation of what? P. If Q, then P. Let's look at the third one, the fourth one, Charles is not brilliant, which is talking about negation of P. Imply is not regular in class, which is talking about negation of what? Uh, Q. But in this statement, negation of Q come before negation of P. So that means option C is the correct option. Chart is not regular in class, imply is not brilliant. Question number 19 is from statistics, and we are told that the table shows the distribution of marks obtained by students in physics tests, giving the marks in class interval, and you are giving the frequency. We have to find the lower class boundary of the modal class. How do we get class boundaries? We get class boundary from class interval. Here we have lower class boundary. So lower class interval, upper class interval, lower upper, lower upper, lower upper, lower upper, lower upper. Then you can get class boundary from it by subtracting 0.5 from the lower, add 0.5 to the upper. So that will give us lower class boundary and upper class boundary. But we are asked to do that for the modal class. Which class is the modal class? That's the class with the highest frequency. And the highest frequency here is 12. So that means this is the modal class. Then we are looking for the lower class boundary of the modal class. So that means we look at the lower interval of that modal class, then we will remove 0.5 from it. So that means you have 30 minus 0.5. That will give us a 29.5. And that means option A is the correct option. Question number 20 is for equation of circle. Equation of circle. We have to find the coordinate of the center of the circle, given the equation of the circle to be 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 6x plus 8y equals to 15. If you are very familiar with the equation of circle, you know that we can generate the coordinate of the center from this equation. How do we do that? First of all, make the equation of x squared and y squared to be equal, and that means you divide to be equal to 1 rather, not equal, to be equal to 1, and that means divide through by 2, and that gives us x squared plus y squared minus 3x minus 4y minus equals to 15 over 2. From there, we can collect like times x squared minus 3x plus y squared plus 4y equals to 15 over 2. From there, we can complete this square, x squared minus 3x, can complete the square using the idea of complete the square method in quadratic equation. Also, this y squared plus 4y can also complete the square as well. How do we complete the square? That means we half and square the equation of s to both sides. We also half and square the equation of y to both sides. What's the equation of x here? That's minus 3. You half it, that will give us minus 3 over 2. Then you now squared it, and you add it to both sides. We have added it here, and we also add it at this side as well of the equation. Also, you have the equation of y here, that is 4 over 2, and that gives us 2. Then you square it as well, and you add it to both sides, and that what you're having here as well. Then after doing that, we now make this expression here a perfect square. We also made this one a perfect square as well. How do we do that? The unknown here is x. You pick x. Then whatever you have the equation of x here, whatever you get here, you write it here. That would be minus 3 over 2. Then you now squared it. So that is this perfect square of this expression. That if you open this one in twice, you get this thing back. Also, you also make this one a perfect square as well. Pick unknown here is y. Then whatever you get where you have this equation of y here, then that is plus 2. Then you put it here, then you squared it. Then this left hand side, we don't really need it because we are not asked to find the radius of the circle. Rather, we have to find the coordinate of the center. Then, having done this now, if you remember the form of a quadratic equation of circle given the center and the radius, you know that this is it is s minus a square plus y minus b square equals to r square. So where a and b are the coordinate of the center. So if you compare this and this now, you discover that our a will be equals to 3 over 2 and our b equals to what? Minus 2. So if you put that in coordinate form, then that will be 3 over 2 comma minus 2. So option C is the correct option for question number 20. Viewers, please don't forget that we are solving WAEC 2022 further mathematics objective question. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button right now on the channel so that you will be notified when we post the theory part of this question on the platform. Question number 21 is on the sum and product of quadratic roots. Sum and product of quadratic what roots. The question says that if alpha and beta are the root of 4x squared plus x minus 4 equals to 0, you are to evaluate 1 over alpha squared plus 1 over beta squared. Before we do this now, we need to first get the sum and the product of this root. And what is the sum? That will be alpha plus beta. And what is the product? Alpha beta. But from this equation, we know that our a is 4, our b is 1, and our c is minus 4. And from the sum of the root of quadratic equation, we know that alpha beta will give us minus b over a, and that will give us minus 1 over 4 because our b is 1 and our a is 4. And the product is alpha beta, that will give us c over a, and c is minus 4, and our a is 4, that will give us minus 1. Now that we know the sum and we know the product, we can simplify this one. We have to simplify 1 over alpha squared plus 1 over beta squared. You can find the LCM here, because so LCM is alpha squared beta squared. So alpha squared in alpha squared beta squared, that will give us beta squared left times 1 beta squared plus beta squared in alpha squared beta squared, that will give us alpha squared left times 1 alpha squared. Now if you can expand alpha squared plus beta squared or beta squared plus alpha squared, you can expand this, and that will give us alpha plus beta all squared minus 2 alpha beta over this alpha squared beta squared can also be written as alpha beta all squared, which I believe you understand how we got that. Now everything we got here is now in form of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Then we can substitute our answer into it. So alpha plus beta is minus 1 over 4. Then you have square minus 2 into alpha beta is minus 1. Then over alpha beta square is minus 1 square. If you simplify that further, minus 1 over 4 squared is minus 1 over, that will give us 1 over 16. Minus 2 times minus 1 will give us plus 2 over 1 square. Minus 1 square is 1. So you are left with 1 over 16 plus 2 over 1. Then we can find the LCM of 1 over 16 plus 2 here. And the LCM is 16. 16 in 16 is 1 times 1 is 1. Then plus 1 in 16 is 16 times 2, 32. 1 plus 32 will give us 33 over 16. So option A is the correct option for question number 21. Question number 22 now is on sequence and series, and it's from geometric progression. Find the number of terms in the exponential sequence GP where you are given the sum of the sequence. So I say sum of the part of the sequence rather, not sum. 1 over 2 as the first term, 1 over 4 as the second term, third term is 1 over 3, dot 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 to the last term, which is 1 over 512. And the first time I said is which is a 1 over 2. And because this sequence is an exponential sequence, this is GP, then we can find the constant ratio, which is the second term divided by the first term, or third term divided by second term. So here to get the R, which is constant ratio, that will be second term over divided by the first term. So we can change this division to times. That will be 1 over 4 times 2 over 1. That will give us half. So that means our R is half. And we know that to find the number of terms in GP, we have number of terms equals to AR raised to power n minus 1, where A is the first term and the R is the constant ratio. So we are looking for number of terms. I mean, we are looking for our n here. And we know that number of terms, this nth here is talking about the last term also. And I be giving the last term is 1 over 512, which is 1 over 512 equals to first term is half into what's it called? Constant ratio is half also raised to power n minus 1. What can we do? We can get rid of this half here by multiplying through by 2. Multiply through by 2, that will be 2 times 1 over 512 equals to 2 times half, open bracket, half raised to power n minus 1. 2 we take care of 2 here, that we have 1 over 2 raised to power n left, and 2 into 512 will give us 256. What can we do here? We can change 1 to a standard form, sorry, index. We can find index form rather, and can also change 256 to index form, that it will have base of 1 over 2. 1 raised to power 8 will give us 8, 1. Then 2 raised to power 8 will give us 256 equals to 1 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. Then power of 8 is common to both, so that you can write it as 1 over 2 everything raised to power 8 equals to 1 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. You can see that the base are equal now. That we can cancel the base. You are left with 8 is equal to n minus 1. You can find our n there by collecting like times. N will be equal to 9. So option B is the correct option for question number 22. Question number 23 also is for set, but the element of set of the two set is given in inequality form. So if set W has S elements such that 2s plus 1 greater than minus 5 greater than or equals to 5 rather, and set Y having element of X such that 2s minus 1 is less than 5, where S belongs to R, find the W intersection Y. Very simple as we can simplify this inequality, simplify this one as well. At the end of the day, we combine our results as a range of values. So 2s plus 1 greater than or equals to 5. Find the collect like times 2s greater than or equals to 5 minus 1. That will give us 4. 2s greater than or equals to 4. Divide both sides by 2. That will give us s is greater than or equals to 2. The other one as well, you can collect like time as well. We have 2s minus 1 less than 5. Collect like times. That will be 2s less than 5 plus 1. That will be 2s less than 6. Divide both sides by 2. That will be s is less than 3. So s is less than 3 means 3 is greater than 3 is greater than x. So, and also s is greater than or equals to 2 means 2 is less than or equals to x. But this one is less than this. 2 is less than 3. So that means 2 comes first. 2, that means 2 less than or equals to x. Then s is less than 3. So if you look at that, option C is the correct option for question number 23. Question number 24 is from binomial expansion. It's for binomial expansion. We have to find the coefficient of the fifth term in the binomial expansion 2 minus x raised to power 6 in ascending power of x. We can solve this using Pascal triangle, but since we are dealing with binomial expansion, let's use binomial expansion to expand it. If you expand it using binomial expansion, this will be the first term, the second term, third, fourth, and fifth. You have to start at fifth term, but we want to get the equation of fifth term. And I believe you understand what you have done here. So that you are dealing with fifth term, that you are dealing with whatever we have here. Then that will give us 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. Then 2 raised to power 2 into minus l raised to power 4. We are looking for the coefficient of x. Now, what would that be? Minus l raised to power 4 will give us s raised to power 4. That one is solved. 2 raised to power 2 is 4. Then 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 4 will give us 144 over 24, which when you divide will give us 60. So that means the equation of s raised to power 4 here is 60. Then option D is the correct option. Please, this is how to expand this what's it called, bracket raised to power 6 in using binomial expansion. And I believe that if you're a science student, if I say further mathematics student, you should know how to expand this using binomial expansion. I can teach you if you want me to do that. Okay, let's do that. That means for the first one, for this one, 2 will carry the power of 6, 2 raised to power 6. Then this minus s here will carry the power of 0 divided by 0 factorial. The next term, 6 will come down. That means you have 6 into 2. Then you move 1 from the power of 6. This you move out from the this you have 5 left. Then this s will carry equal 0 power of 1. Now s will be the power of 2 here will be decreasing, the power of s will be increasing. That's what we are doing, over 1 factorial. Then the next term now, this 5 also will come down. That means you have 6 times 5. Remove 1 from the power, that will be 2 raised to power 4. Add 1 to this power, that's 2 over 2 factorial. The next one, 4 will come down. That we have 6 times 4 times 6 times 5 times 4. Remove 1 from the power here, that will give us 3. Then this power here will increase by 1, that will give us raised to power 3 over 3 factorial. The next one, 3 will come down as well. That means 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. Then remove 1 from the power, that will give us 2. then add 1 to this part, that gives us this over 4 over 4 factorial. That's how we got this expansion, which I believe you understand. Question number 25 is from trigonometric ratio. Given that sine x is 4 over 5, which where 0 degrees less than s less than 90 degrees, find the value of cos 2x. This is trigonometric ratio, where your angle of x is an acute angle. Then if sine s is 4 over 5, under the trigonometric ratio of compound angle, because 2x is a compound angle, you have cos 2x to be 1 over minus 2 sine square x. Cos 2x is the same thing as 1 minus 2 sine square x. Under trigonometric ratio of compound angle, you will see that. And we already have sine x to be 4 over 5. That means you can have it to be 1 minus 2 into this sine square s means sine x everything squared. So sine s is 4 over 5, then squared it. Then that gives us 1 minus 2. 4 squared is 16 over 5 squared is 25. Then that will give us 32 over 25 here. You find the LCM. That will give us 25 minus 32 over 25. And that gives us a minus 7 over 25. Option B is the correct option. Question number 26 is on motion against gravity now. Motion against gravity. A ball is thrown vertically upward with a velocity 50 meter per second. Calculate the maximum height reached. Take g to be 10 meter per second squared. Like I said, this is the motion against gravity. When I throw a ball upward, then something will happen to the ball. When the ball reaches the maximum height, final velocity will be what? 0. V will be 0. Then you have to calculate the maximum height reached. So we want to find the distance along the height now. I want to find. And we have some equation of motion that out of the 3 equation of motion that we have, one of them have x as distance, but because we are doing it vertically now, that means turn to h. Then the equation was supposed to be v square equals to u square plus 2gx. Then that s turns to h because we are finding it along the vertical component or vertical height. Then because the acceleration is against the gravity now, that means the plus into minus as well. And at the highest peak, the final velocity is 0. That means you have v 0 square here, and the initial velocity is 50 square minus 2 times g times this is 10 multiplied by the h. 2 times 10 is 20. 50 square is 2,500. If you collect light time, this one can come here. That means you have minus 2,500 equals to minus 20h. Can divide both sides by minus 20. That will give us our h to be 125 meter. So the maximum height reached is 125 meter. Question number 27. Given that the sum of the first n terms of a sequence is sum of term equals to 2n squared plus 5, find its nth term. So to find the nth term of a sequence, given the sum of term of that sequence, is we say that the nth term is sum of n term minus sum of n term minus 1. To find the so find the nth term given the sum of term of a sequence, you have the nth term to be sum of the nth term minus sum of the nth term minus 1. So that will give us, we know sum of the nth term is 2 is given to us 2n squared plus 5 minus, we can open the bracket because of this minus here. Then sum of the n minus 1 term is wherever you see n here, you put n minus 1, and we have 2 into n minus 1 squared plus 5. Then if you simplify this bracket, you have n squared minus 2n plus 1. Then 2 will open the bracket, you have 2n squared minus 4n plus 2, then plus this 5. You can now open this bracket with this minus here. That will give us or before that, you can simplify 2 plus 5 will give us 7. Open the bracket with the minus, you have 2n squared plus 5 minus 2n squared plus 4n minus 7. If you take the like times, this will take care of this. we have 5 plus 4n minus 7, and that will give us 4n minus 2. So the n time is 4n minus 2, and option B is the correct option. Question number 28 is on the application of integral calculus. So application of integration, and that is the area under a curve. Find the area between the curve y equals to 2x squared minus s, comma, the x-axis and the ordinate s equal to 0 and s equals to what? 4. So this is the implication of integration to quadratic graph. Then what do? We have the quadratic equation, which is going to give us this kind of graph, because our equation of s squared is greater than 0, so they're going to give us u shape. Then from there, why is it passing the origin here? Because we are told that we have been given the limit. It passes to s is equal to 0 and s equals to what? 4. So that means we are looking for the area under this curve here. And how do we do that? Area under this curve, you can integrate this function, then you put the limit from 0 to what? To 4. So that will give us a definite integral, 0 to 4. We integrate the function. So if you integrate this, that will give us 2 raised to power 2 s raised to power 3 over 3 minus s squared over 2. Then you put the limit 4 to 0. Then what does this one mean? It means that you put the value of x into this, minus you put the value of 0 into this as well. So you have 2 into 4 raised to power 3 over 3 minus 4 raised to power 2 over 2 minus, open bracket, put your 0 again, 2 into 0 raised to power 3 minus over 3 minus 0 square over 2. Everything here will give us 0, so there's no point in working that. Then you can simplify this one further. If you simplify the numerator, you give us 120 over 3. Then this one will give us pardon me, 4 square is 16, divided by 2, that will give us 8. So if you find the LCM, you have this, and that will give us 104 over 3 units, which can be taken to a mixed number or mixed fraction. That gives us 34 whole number 2 over 3 units. And option C is the correct option for question number 28. Question number 29 is on probability. The probability that two athletes, X and Y, will win a gold medal in a competition are 0.65 and 0.75 respectively. Find the probability that at least one of them will win a gold medal. At least one of them will win. That will be probability of S win, Y and Y lose. Or probability of S lose and Y win. Or probability of both of them winning. They say at least one of them must win. So S can win, Y will lose, or S will lose, Y will win, or both of them will win. So, and that what you have there. If you know the probability that S win to be 0.65, that means you can find the probability that he lose. That will be probability. That will be 1 minus the probability that he win. The probability of success and plus probability of failure will give us 1. So if this is success, to get probability of failure, that will be 1 minus success. That will give us 0.35. Also, probability that Y1 is 0.75, we have been given. You can also find probability that he lost. That will be 0.25. Then we are looking for probability at least one of them win. That will be probability of S win, Y lose, or probability of S lose, Y win, or probability of both of them winning. And that will give us probability that S win is 0.65 times probability that Y lose is 0.25 plus probability that S lose is 0.35 times probability of Y win is 0.75 plus probability of both of them winning 0.65 times 0.75. And if you simplify this further, you have 0.9125, and that gives us option A to be the correct option. Question number 30 is on mapping and function as well, and this one is a composite function. If two functions f and g are defined by f of x equals to sine x and g of x equals to square root of 1 minus s squared, you have to find g of f of x. And like I said, f of x is sine x and g of x is square root of 1 minus s squared. You have to find g of f of x. That means you put your f of x in g. Put your f of x in g. And this is a composite function. Now we are putting one function in another one. So put your f of x in g. What is our g of x? G of x is square root of 1 minus x squared. So you are going to put this f of x in g. So that anywhere you see x here, you put sine x. So that means you have a square root of 1 minus sine x squared. That's what it means. And this one can be written as a square root of 1 minus sine square x as well. This one and this one mean the same thing. And if you recollect under trigonometry, one of the identity of trigonometric ratio says that sine square x plus cos square will give us 1. So we can make cos square x, so the formula that will give us cos square to be 1 minus sine square x, which is what we are having here. So we can replace this one to be what? Cos square x, which I believe you understand. So that means g of f of x will give us square root of cos square x rather. Then you can take your find the square root of this, and that will give us the cos x. So option C is the correct option here. So we are left with 10 questions to solve for this WAEC 2022 further mathematics objective question. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button right now on the channel so that you will be notified when we post the theory question of the theory on this platform. Question number 31 is on force. You are given these three forces to find the resultant of those three forces. How do we do that? This force is in a column matrix. It's represented in column matrix. Then we can add the row together. We can also add the second row together. And how do we find the resultant of forces? That will be square root of the summation of the first row squared plus summation of the square of the second row. So what's the first row? We have 8 plus 3 minus 1. Although we are adding everything together, we know plus times minus will give us minus. So we have 8 plus 3 minus 1 squared. Then plus minus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That what you have here, or squared as well. Then that will give us 8 plus 3 is 11 minus 1. That will give us 10 squared. Minus 3 plus 2 is 1 plus 4 is 5 squared. That will give us a square root of 125. And if you find the sod of 125, that will give us a sod 25 times 5. So 25 is 5, and that will give us 5 sod 5 Newton. And option B is the correct option. Question number 32 is also on a binomial expansion. We are in the fifth terms. If the coefficient of the fifth term in the binomial expansion of 1 plus kx raised to power 8 in the ascending power of x is 35 over 8. Find value of k. So, like I explained in the earlier question on binomial expansion, we can expand this to the fifth term. This is the first term, second term, third term, fourth, and fifth. The same way I expanded out the other one, you expand this one as well. So that means you are working on this fifth term, which is what you're having here, is equals to 35 over 8. Then from there you can simplify this further. If you multiply all this together, that will give us 1680. 4 factorial is 24. Then we are looking for a question of s. So that means I can remove this s raised to power 4. That means you are left with what? K raised to power 4 equals to 35 over 8. Then 24 divided by 1680 divided by 24 give us 70. Then equals to this. Then also 35 can go, you can divide both sides by 35. If I divide this one by 35, that will give us, if I divide this one by 35, so that will give us 1 over 8. Then we can divide both sides by 2, that will give us 1 over 8 divided by 2. And that can be changed to 1 over 8 times 1 over 2. Then that will give us 1 over 16. They can now find the fourth root of k to give us the value of k. And that will give us 1 over 2. So option B is the correct option for question number 32. Question number 33 now is from partial fraction. Given that 1 over s minus 2 into s squared plus 1 is equivalent to k over s minus 2 plus ms plus n over s squared plus 1. Find the value of k, m, and n. So like I said, this is a partial fraction now. and that means you have to you have to simplify this partially. And how do we do that? The right hand side, we need to uh, find the LCM, which will be s minus 2 into s square plus 1. Then s minus 2 in this will give us s square plus 1 left. We'll multiply by k, that will give us this. Then s square plus 1 in this will give us s minus 2 left. Multiply by d, that will have this. So from there, this denominator here can cancel the denominator here. We are left with 1 equals to k into s square plus 1 plus ms plus n into s minus 2. So we can eliminate this side. We can eliminate this one to find our k here. How? If our s is 2, this one becomes 0. Everything here becomes 0. So that we have 2 squared, that gives us 4 plus 1, that gives us 5. So we have 5k equals to 1. So we can find our k to be equals to 1 over 5. So to get the value of m and n, what do? We can expand we can open the bracket here, open everything here, that will give us 1. Then k multiply this one will give us ks squared plus k, plus if you open the bracket here as well, we have this as well. Then from there we can collect like terms. Those ones that have question of s squared, you can bring them together. This question of s squared, bring it together. This one that have question of x, you can bring them together. This one have question of x, and this one as well. And you can bring the constant together. The k and the minus 2n is constant. Then you can now factorize s squared out. You have k plus m inside. Then you can also factorize x out. That we have minus 2m plus n inside. Then this is a constant. Then you can now compare both sides. Then compare both sides. S squared is not at both, it's at both sides, but the question is 0. That's why you're not having anything here at the left hand side. So that means if you compare both sides for question of s squared, then we have k plus m into s squared equals to 0 s squared at the left hand side. That's why you're not having anything there. So that means automatically k plus m will be equal to 0 because s squared will cancel s squared. So k plus m equal to 0. Then from there we know the value of our k to be 1 over 5. Then we can find our m. 1 over 5 plus m equals to 0. So collect like time, that means m will be equal to minus 1 over 5. Also, you can compare both constant as well. This is minus 2n plus k, which is equal to 1. And 1 is also here constant. So we have 1 equals to minus 2n plus k. We have value of our k, we have value of our value of our k as well. That will be 1 equals to minus 2n plus 1 over 5. Collect like times, minus 2n equals to 1 minus 1 over 5. Find the LCM, that gives us 4 over 5. Then you can divide both sides by minus 2, that equals to n equals to 4 over 5 divided by minus 2, which you can change to times 4 over 5 times 1 minus 1 over 2, and that will give us 2 can cancel 4 here, that will give us minus 2 over 5. So therefore k is 1 over 5, common m is equal to minus 1 over 5, and n is minus 2 over 5. So option A is the correct option for question number 33. Question number 34 now is from statistics. The scores the score obtained by 10 students in a test are 3, 6, 7, 8, 2, 5, 9, 4, 1, and 10. If the mean is 5.5, find the standard deviation. We know that this is an on-group data, and standard deviation will be square root of the summation of s minus x bar squared over number of elements here. So we know the value of, we know our x are the element given, the number given to us, data given to us, and we have been given the value of our mean, which is our x bar. So we can find x minus x bar according to this formula. So x minus x bar will be x minus this x bar. So 3 minus 5.5 will give us minus 2.5. 6 minus 5.5 will give us 0.5. 7 minus d will give us 1.5. 8 minus d will give us this, and so on for the rest. Then you can now square s minus x bar so as to eliminate the minus. So if you square each element you have here, you have minus 2.5 square will give us 6.25. 0.5 square will give us 0.25. 1.5 square will give us 2.25, and so on. If you square everything one after the other, you get this. Then summation of it, you have to sum this s minus s bar square, sum this column, that gives us 8.5. Sorry, 82.5. Then that means standard deviation will be square root of 82.5 divided by n, which is how many data we have here, which is 10 data. Then that will give us a square root of 8.25, And if you find the square root of 8.25, that will give us 2.87. That means option C is the correct option here. Question number 35 is from indices. If this is equals to 3 over 8, find the value of n. If 2 raised to power 3n plus 4 plus 8 raised to power n plus 1 over 2 raised to power n times 2 raised to power n plus 1 equals to 3 over 8, find the value of our n. So what did I do here? We can apply the law of indices to the denominator here because they have the same base. So, and you are multiplying it, that we can add the power together. So we have this plus this. Then here also I change this 8 to index for that will be 2 raised to power 3. Then that 3 will multiply multiply n plus 1. So 3 times n will give us 3n plus 1. So you have 3n plus, sorry, 3 will multiply n, 3 will also multiply 1, that will give us 3n plus 3. Under we have applied law of indices here, that will give us 2 raised to power n plus 1. So 2n plus n will give us 2n here. Then also here we can, here on the numerator we can break this down according to the law of indices. This will give us 2 raised to power 3n times 2 raised to power 4 plus, we can also break this one down as well, 2 raised to power 3n times 2 raised to power 3 over 2 raised to power 2n plus 1. So we know that 2 raised to power 4 is 16, then 2 raised to power 3 is 8. We have it here as well. So also this one can be written as 16. Sorry, we know that something is common here. Something is common here. This is multiplying this. This is multiplying this. So 2 raised to power 3n is common to this. So you can factorize it out. 2 raised to power 3n into 16 plus 8 is left. If you open this bracket as well, you have this one back as well. Then over 2 raised to power n plus 1 equal to 3 over 8. Then from there as well, 16 plus 8 is 24. Then if that should be the case as well, then from here we can pardon me please, we can divide both sides by 3. If I divide both sides by 3 here, that 24 divided by 3 will give us 8. Then 3 divided by 3 here will give us 1 over 8. Then from here, what can we do? We can cross multiply. This will multiply 1, then 8 will multiply 8 here. That gives us this into 64 equal to this. We can change this one to its index form. Now that gives us 2 raised to power 6 equals to this. Then we can now apply law of index to this. Now that will give us this. Then we have the power 2 raised to power 3n plus 6 equals to 2 raised to power 2n plus 1. Base can cancel base. 3n plus 6 equals to 2n plus 1. Collect like time. 3n minus 2n equals to 1 minus 6. So 3n minus 2n is n equals to minus 5. So option D is the correct option for question number 35. Question number 36 is from permutation. In how many ways can 8 students be seated on a bench if only 3 seats are available? So 8 students, 3 are picked, so at the same time, so that will be 8 permutation 3, and that will be 8 factorial over 8 minus 3 factorial, that will be 5 factorial. So 8 factorial can be written as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. Then 5 factorial can take care of 5 factorial. We are left with 8 times 7 times 6, and that will give us 336 ways. So option C is the correct option there. Question number 37 is from the vector. Give it that vector x is minus 7i plus 6j, and vector y is 10i minus 11j, and we are given this this p multiplying this s minus y, where our s is this vector and our y is this vector, equals to this 1 over 2 multiplying this column matrix. So what do we do? Look at what I've done here. P into s minus y will give us p into, put vector x there and put vector y here. So don't forget that there's minus there, so minus will multiply everything in y, and that will give us minus 7i plus 6j minus 10i plus 11j. Collect like times. Minus 7i minus 10i will give us minus 17i. 6j plus 11j will give us 17j. So now we can change this also to column matrix. That will give us P into minus 17, then 17 equals to 1 over 2 into 15, then minus 51. So this scalar 1 over 2 can multiply this column vector. That will give us 51 over 2 and minus 51 over 2. So what does this mean? This P can also multiply this vector or this column matrix as well. That means we have minus 17p and 17p. So according to the quality of matrix, this column matrix is equal to this column matrix. That implies that minus 17p is equal to this 51 over 2, and 17p is also equal to minus 51 over 2. If you pick any of this now, you have minus 17p equals to 51 over 2. Then you can divide both sides by the minus 17 here. That will be p equals to 51 over 2 divided by minus 17, which you can change to times, and that will give us 51 over 2 times minus 1 over 17, and that will give us a minus 3 over 2. If you cut that, 17 can go in 51, and that will give 3, and that will give us minus 3 over 2. So option P is a minus 3 over 2, and option A is the correct option. Question number 38 now is from differentiation as well. Differentiation and integration. If the ydx, because this f prime of s means the ydx, they have differentiated this. The ydx is equal to s cubed minus 4 over s raised to power 5, and f of 1 equals to 4. Find f of x. So what are we saying? They have differentiated a function. We don't know that function, and the answer gives us this. So that means the ydx is equal to 3s cubed minus 4, which you can write as a 4 into 1 over 4 times 1 over s raised to power 5. This and this one mean the same thing. This and this mean the same thing. Because 4 multiply 1, that will give us 4 over s raised to power 5 back. Then this you can write as s raised to power minus 5. If you understand indices, you understand that. Then you can now cross multiply. The s will multiply everything that is here. Then you can now integrate both sides. You integrate the y, that will give us y. Then integrate s cubed, that will give us s raised to power 4 over 4. And if you integrate this, that will give us 4 s raised to power. If you plus 1 here, that will give us minus 4 over minus 4 plus c. Then this is the function they have differentiated to get this function. But we need to find the value of our c. So we are told that 4 can take care of 4 here. That means you have a minus. The minus times 1 will give us plus here. Then that means you are left with f of s equals to f of s same as y equals to s raised to power 4 plus s raised to power minus 4 plus c. So at s f of 1 equals to 4. So that means our s can be 4. So 1, the answer will be what? 4. So that means if you put our s will be 1 here in this, then its answer is what? 4. So that means you put your 1 here, that will be 1 raised to power 4 over 4 plus s 1 raised to power minus 4 plus c equals to 4. Then 1 raised to power 4 is same as 1. That gives 1 over 4 plus 1 raised to power minus 4 is also 1 plus c equals to 4. So we can collect light, and that will be c equals to 4 minus 1 over 4 minus 1 again. Find the LCM. C equals to 16 minus 1 minus 4 over 4. That gives us 11 over 4. So that means our c is our c here is 11 over 4. If you return that into this, we have f of s, which is s over 4 plus s raised to power minus 4 plus 11 over 4. And this one can also be written as 1 over s raised to power 4. So if you look at the option given to us, option D is the correct option. The question 39 is the second to the last question for this video. In how many ways can 5 boys be chosen from a class of 20 boys if the class prefix must be included? That's the selection with condition now, and that is combination. 20 combination 5. So that can be right as 20 factorial over 20 minus 5 factorial 5 factorial. So 20 minus 5 is 15 factorial. So we can expand this 20 factorial to 15 factorial, so that this 15 factorial can cancel this 15 factorial. We are left with 20 times 15 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 16 over 5 factorial. And if you multiply that, that will give us 1,860,480. 5 factorial is 120. And if you divide this one by this, that gives us 1,400, sorry, 15,504 ways. And that's option D. Question, last question, which is question number 40. A box contains 2 greens and 3 blue identical cards. If 3 cards are selected at random from the box without replacement, find the probability that at least one must be green. So 3 cards were picked and at random without replacement. That's the condition with replacement. And the 3 cards were picked. We have to find probably that at least one of the card must be what? Green. So, and we to the total outcome. That means how many balls we have there? That's 5 balls. So, probability that of at least one green must be there is the probability that of probability of all 3 of them being green. Then you now remove it from 1. Probability of at least one must be green is when you have 1 minus probability of all of them being green. That will give us probability of one of them must be a green. So that's why I said here probability of green, all of them be green. Sorry, I made a mistake rather. Probability of one of them being green will be probability of 1 minus probability of all of them being blue. Don't forget that you have two different cards there, green and blue. So we are looking for probability of one of them being green. That means you have probability 1 minus probability of all of them being what? Blue. So and what's probability of all of them being blue? That will be BBB. The first ball is 3/5. Don't forget that it's without replacement. So that means we did not replace the first ball. That means blue will be reduced by 1. And total outcome also reduced by 1. That will be 2/4. That means we did not return the second ball as well. That means blue is now 1 and total outcome is now 3. 1/3. If you simplify that correctly, 3 will cancel 3. Then 2 here 1, 2 in 4, that is 2. That means you have 1/10 left. So that's probability of all of them being blue. Then probability of at least one green will be 1 minus probability of all blue. And that will give us 1 minus 1/10. And that will give us 9/10, which is same as 0.9. So option A is the correct option for this question. So we want to appreciate you for taking your time to listen to this video on the WAEC 2022 for that mathematics objective question. So before we say bye bye to this video, if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button right now and comment on the video, like it. You can share it with your colleague or your other students, and you can also make it a gift to students that are writing WAEC very soon on further mathematics so that you can use it to practice. And don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. And as you do so, may the good Lord bless you. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you.